Hello everybody. In this video I'm gonna explain how we can solve the equation with the format of ax equal b. As an example, 5x is equal 10. How we can solve this type of equation? As I already told you, in an equation we can subtract same number from both sides, we can add same number to both sides, we can divide both sides to the same number, or we can multiply both sides to the same number. In this situation, and again as I told you, that the general rule of solving equation is isolating variable in one side and the numbers in the other side. So in this equation we should isolate x. To isolating x, we should get rid of this 5 because it's 5x or 5 multiplied by x. To eliminate this x, we should divide this side by 5. If I divide this side by 5, then this 5 and this 5 cancel each other and I will have x only in this side. But whatever we are doing in this side, we have to do exactly the same thing in the other side. Because I'm dividing this side by 5, I have to divide the other side by 5, then these two 5 cancel each other, and the other side, 10 divided by 5 is 2. So x equal 2 is the solution of this equation. Again, if I substitute 2 instead of x in this equation, 5 times 2 is going to be 10, then left side and right side going to be equal. Now, if, as you know, I already told you in the expression, 5, the name of the 5 is coefficient. If the coefficient in this case is 5, if instead of 5 was fraction format, as an example, if we have 2 over 3x is equal, as an example, 10. Okay? How we can solve this type of equation? Can you compare these two? In this first one, the coefficient of x was a number. In this case, the coefficient of x is fraction. Again, we have two methods. One method is we have to eliminate these 3. How we can eliminate these 3? If we multiply both sides by 3, then we can eliminate these 3. So the first method is just multiply both sides by 3. Okay, then what's gonna happen? These 3 and these 3 cancel each other. If I give a 1 denominator to this one, these 3 at the top with these 3 at the bottom cancel each other, and in this case we have 2x in the left is equal 30. Now, what should I do now? I should eliminate these 2 because it's 2 multiplied by x. I should divide this side by 2, and I should do the same thing with the other side. So it's gonna be 2x divided by 2, 30 divided by 2. Then these 2 cancel each other. In the left side I have x, and then the right side 30 divided by 2 is 15. So x equal 15 is the solution of this equation. If instead of x I substitute 15, then 15 by 3 cancel each other is going to be 5. 5 times 2 is 10. Left side and right side going to be equal. But pay attention. Can you see I did in 2 steps? First I multiply by 3 to eliminate these 3 at the denominator, and then I divide by 2 to eliminate these 2 at the numerator. But I can combine these 2 steps in 1 step and make it easier. Look at this one. If I have, it was 2 over 3x equal 10. Instead of multiplying by 3 in 1 step and dividing by 2 in another step, I just multiply both sides by reciprocal of this coefficient, by reciprocal of this fraction. What is reciprocal as 2 over 3 is 3 over 2. So I multiply the right side by 3 over 2, multiply by 2 over 3x equal 10, multiply by 3 over 2. 3 over Yeah, I multiply both sides by reciprocal of the coefficient of x. Then what gonna happen? These 3 and these 3 cancel, these 2 and these 2 cancel each other. In the left side we have x. And what about the right side? I can cancel, if I give one denominator, I can cancel this 10 and 2 by 2 is 1. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Then 5 times 3 is 50. Okay, we got the same answer, but instead of doing in 2 steps, I did it in 1 step by multiplying both sides by reciprocal of this fraction. Now, this type of equation, we have a lots of use for this type of equation in our real life. As an example, to calculating a distance that traveled by car, this is one example. If a car travel, let's say 75 kilometers per hour for 2 hours. Okay, if a car travels 75 kilometers for 2 hours, how much gonna be the distance? This is the formula. Distance is equal rate multiplied by time. Yeah, this is the formula for distance, which is rate is the speed, uniform speed. It means if the speed is changing, going higher, high or low, we should find the average speed, the constant speed or average speed, which the rate is 75 kilometers per hour and time is 2 hours. Can you see again, this one is one type of equation. In the previous example, we had ax is equal b. In this part, we just reverse it. This one, d is equal rt or rx is equal d as an example. This is exactly the same thing. I just switch it over. Okay, so one method of solving this type of equation, or one use of this type of equation, ax plus b, is calculating the distance. Or if we have the distance, can you see in this formula we have 3 variables: distance, speed, and time. If we have 2 of these variables, we can calculate the third one. In this part, 75 kilometers per hour for 2 hours. How much is the distance? Distance gonna be, rate is 75 and time is 2. So distance gonna be 150 kilometers. How much is the distance? 150 kilometers. After 2 hours, the car gonna be travels. Other example of this one. If we traveled, let's say 200 kilometers after, let's say 5 hours, how much is our speed? If we travel 200 kilometers after 5 hours, after traveling 5 hours, the distance that we traveled is 200 kilometers. How much was our speed? So again, distance is equal rate multiplied by time. How much is the distance that we traveled? 200 kilometers. How much is the rate? We don't have it. You just name it rate or x or whatever. How much is the time? 5. Yeah, 5 hours. Again, we want to solve this equation. If I want to compare with this format, ax is equal b. In this case, we have 5r is equal 200. Can you see 5r is equal 200? So what we should do is exactly the same thing. We should eliminate this 5. How? By dividing both sides by 5. Then these two 5 cancel each other, and the rate or speed is gonna be 200 divided by 5, 40 kilometers per hour. Another example of using this type of equation is calculating the percent. Do you remember the formula for percent? Percent multiplied by base is equal amount, or percent of base is amount, right? Again, is the same as this formula. AX is equal B. Can you see? If I reverse this one, these two are the same thing. Now, as an example, what is 5% of 20? Okay, what is 5% of 20? Percent of base is amount. It means whatever is beside of is the base, and whatever beside is amount. In this case, what is, so we are looking for amount. Beside is what, so we are looking for amount. 5%, so percent is 5%, we should convert to percent of 20 is amount. And how much gonna be amount? 5% multiplied by 20 is gonna be 4. Yeah? Is 1, I think. 5% of 20 is 100, and we have 1 is 10. 5% of 20 is not 10. Let me just calculate it. I'm just 0.5 multiplied by 20 is what? Not 10. Okay? 5% of 20 is what? Clear? This is another example of how we can solve this one, how we use this type of equation. The other one, calculating the interest. Do you remember? Interest is equal principal multiplied by rate multiplied by time. The simple interest. Again, is the same type of this formula. If you invest $1,000 with a rate of, let's say, 2% for 5 years, how much gonna be the interest? Simple interest. So interest gonna be, principal is 1,000, rate is 2% or 0.2, and time is 5 years. Can you see? Again, is some type of this equation. Remember, A cannot be only one number. We can have or 2 numbers or 3 numbers, same as this one. Okay, and we can find the interest. Okay, this was the method of solving the equation in the format of AX is equal B, and A can be a number or can be a fraction that I explained both of this one. Bye for now, and see you in another video.